उपस्थितानां भवतां सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। As its mantra, this rucha from Rigveda, Ano Bhadraha Krutavha Yantu Vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come to us from all sides. And since Bharati Vidya Bhavan has, since the last 75 years, been a preserver of the cultural tradition and philosophical tradition of India, I'll give 3 or 4 examples. Bhavans has a Pathshala at Mumbai Devi called the Mahavidyalaya, where it is teaching Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta. It houses, lodges and boards about 28 students for so many years. Here in Gita Vidyalaya, it conducts tuitions and examinations at various levels of Sanskrit like Prarambhik, Parichay and COVID. It has published over the years a whole series of books on Vedas and Upanishads with English translation. It also runs the Bhavan's Institute of Postgraduate Research, which is in Sanskrit and which is recognized by Bombay University. So, it is very apt that Parulben's group has chosen Bharati Vidya Bhavan to partner it in this noble venture concerning Mandukya Upanishad. Of course, Bhavans is about a myriad other things also. Bhavans Kala Kendra, in partnership with Sahitya Kala Sampada, every month presents one cultural program here in this auditorium. It is a blend of music, Sugama Sangita at times, Shastriya Sangita, also drama, literature, poetry, ghazal, various forms, and we blend it with a bit of entertainment also. So we have so far conducted 56 programs. Our next program, in fact, will be held on Sunday morning, 19th of June, which is a one-person show called Adbhut. This performance will be by the renowned R.J. Devki of Ahmedabad. It is directed by Manoj Shah. And now may I invite Parulben to grace the stage and say a few words about her efforts. Parulben, please come in.
Thank you, Udayan Bhai. Respected elders and dear friends, in association with Sahitya Kala Sampada and Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Sunaad brings to you the production Mandukya Sant Vani, a confluence of the Mandukya Upanishad shlokas and the Sant Vani, the poetry of saints across India. I, Parul Shastri, present this as a tribute to my mother, Srimati Malati Jhaveri, whose centennial birth anniversary was on the 12th of February 2022. Due to COVID restrictions, this show could not be presented on that day, but I am excited to do so in my mother's memory today. Ma was a multifaceted lady and was truly God's unique creation. Her zest to live life to the fullest and never give up on anything, big or small, once she had committed to it. She lived life on her terms and was a powerhouse of energy until very end. Ma and my father, Sri Damu Jhaveri, were freedom fighters and met in jail during the freedom struggle. Needless to say that they both considered Mahatma Gandhi to be their idol and adopted the Gandhian way in different aspects of their life. Ma had numerous hobbies and interests. She was an MA in Sanskrit and a voracious reader, and she translated Ranganath Ramayan, which is in Telugu, and Kamba Ramayan, which is in Tamil, to Gujarati. She also translated many books from Hindi to Gujarati. Ma ran a cooperative society called Sohan Sahkari Sangh for 50 years with her sister Srimati Prabha Shah. This store promoted handlooms and handicrafts of local artisans. She worked with the potters of Dharavi and weavers of Kutch and Gujarat and helped in uplifting them. Ma was also very involved with the Indian National Theatre's research wing, focusing on Gujarati folk music and dance. My father, Sri Damu Jhaveri, was the General Secretary of INT since its inception in 1947. After his death in 2002, Ma took over this post for a few years. Though Ma dabbled in multiple things, her biggest passion was trekking, specifically in the Himalayas. Aside from her numerous excursions to the Himalayas, she took keen interest in providing exposure to rock climbing to the people of Mumbai. She was the honorary treasurer of the Climbers Club of Mumbai and facilitated the visits of famous Sherpas who would come in and teach as well as share their experiences. She was an avid photographer too and brought back her adventures in the Himalayas through photographs for the rest of us to experience. As I pay my respect to Ma, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our near and dear ones who are here today to celebrate her. Thank you so much for coming. I would like to extend my thanks to Bharat Vidya Bhavan, Shri Niranjan Bhai and Shri Udayan Thakkar for all their support, and Shri Anil Pran on the music, and some really talented person who's on the lights too. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am sure you will enjoy this special production. I request my friend Srimati Tara Kini to introduce Sunaad, our music group.
Namaste, Shankar ji. Namaste, Sunil ji, and all of you respected audience. Welcome here. As Parul has just welcomed you all, I will just take a minute to introduce Sunaad to you, our group. Sunaad is an eclectic group of singers from Bangalore. Our group is composed of the school-going, the retired, professional performers, hobbyists, homemakers, working professionals, all of whom share a common passion, a love for Hindustani classical music. Sunaad has conceived and presented 10 different shows since its inception in 2002, all in the Hindustani classical music style. We've presented over 90 performances of these shows across different cities in India. Today, all of us in Sunaad are very honored to perform in the memory of our dear friend Parul's Ma. Today, our show is also very special because Sri Sunil Shanbag, I can't see you, who transformed our show within 2 days with his theatrical inputs, is here with us, and we are very, very thrilled that he's going to watch the show today. And Sri Shankar Mahadevan ji, we are so thrilled to have you in our midst. Shankar ji is here for a very exciting event, which we will talk about after the show. I'm not going to tell you right now. So may I request you, Shankar ji, to invoke the presence of the Almighty with your unique music and voice. Tantra. Love.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुडध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनोहरि मंगलाय तनो हरि।
Shankar ji, now that's going to be a very hard act to follow, as you can imagine, but we'll do our best. So please relax and the usual thing, mobile phones to be on silent or switched off, please. Thank you very much. And we will do our best to present to you Mandukya Sant Vani. Sunaad presents Mandukya Sant Vani, a confluence of the Mandukya Upanishad and Sant Vani, the poetry of saints across India. Every shloka of the Mandukya Upanishad resonates with the poetry of saints through the centuries because they have made an intimate discovery of this divinity that lies within Mandukya Upanishad, 12 verses that direct us to this divinity that lies within. These saints were from all walks of life: a cobbler, a weaver, a king, a queen, a teenager, an accountant. They poured their lived experiences into the poetry in the language of the people. These poems in 10 different languages and the Mandukya Upanishad in Sanskrit will be sung in Dhrupad, the most ancient form of Hindustani classical music. We will render these compositions in 16 different ragas and 7 different tals. This is an offering of joy from all of us in Sunaad. So relax, sit back, and enter the world of the saints of Dhrupad and the forest academies of the Upanishads. Om Bhadram Karne Vishnuyamadeva Bhadram Pashyemakshaviryajatrah Sthirairangai Sushtuvam Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Nityetat Aksharam Idam Sarvam Tasyopagyakhyanam Bhutam Bhavat Bhavishyat Iti Sarvam Omkara Eva Yachanyat Trikaratikam That was the first verse of the Mandukya Upanishad, which comes at the end of the Atharva Veda. The Upanishads contain the essential philosophy of the Vedas. What? Really? Shall we? She wants to give you a clue as to what the word Mandukya means. So go ahead. Dhitta kita taka dhittam kita taka tom takita taka tom takita taka dhitta kita taka dhitta kita taka tom takita taka tom takita taka dhimita 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 chunuta chunuta dhimita 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 chunuta chunuta Manduka Bharata Gamane Manduka Bharata Gamane Dhimi dhimita dhimi dhimi dhimita 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 Tathai 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 takatakita takatakita takatakita. So, could you guess? Thank you. But could you guess what the word Mandukya means? Anybody? Frog. Wow. That is fantastic. You did your homework. Very good. Lovely. So, yes, it's a frog. But why do you think an Upanishad is named after a frog?
Well, it is said that Varun Dev, the god of rains, took on the form of a frog and taught this Upanishad as Mandukya Rishi.
But why a frog?
It is probably a metaphor, as a frog can live both on land and water.
Yes, you're right. A rishi who has realized the supreme reality can live here and there. He can live in the world like all of us, but his mind is centered out there.
So shall we see how the Mandukya Upanishad can help us live on land and in water? The first shloka. All this is Om, the indestructible syllable. Om is what was, what is, and what shall be. All that is beyond past, present, and future, that too is Om.
Om etetat aksharam idam sarvam tasyotavyakhyanam bhudam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkara eva yachanyat trikalatītam tadamyokara eva.
यदि सृष्टि का कोई प्रारंभ माने तो वो है ओमकार, ब्रह्मनाद। संपूर्ण प्रकट अस्तित्व में ओम ही समाया है। भूत, वर्तमान, भविष्य और इनसे परे भी ओम की ध्वनि ही है। इसका ना आदि ना अंत। आदिअन्त अनंत परमापद। Raidas. In the 15th century, he sang this verse that resonates with the first shloka of the Mandukya Upanishad. His verse was the expression of his realization of the Paramapada, the supreme reality. Just as the Mandukya shloka explains that Om, the word, contains everything in the universe and is the past, present, future, and beyond. So does Raidas explain Paramapada as Adi, the beginning, Anta, the end, and Madhi, all that lies in between. Raidas was a chamar, a cobbler, and was considered untouchable. He was even denied entry to the temples. Kahe Raidas, Prakasa Paramapada, Ka Japa Tapa Brata Puja. Says Raidas, once I have seen the ultimate truth, what need have I of any ritual or any worship? Man mere soi sarupa vichar. Man mere soi sarupa vichar. Adi anta ananta paramapada sanse sakala nivara. Man mere soi sarupa vichar. Adi vireta anti so A legend from the Puranas relates a tale about the Devas and Brahma discussing a plan to hide divinity from man. Where shall we hide it? Asked the Devas. Let's bury it deep under the ground. No, said Brahma, man is clever. We'll dig deep and find it. Let us then bury it in the deepest ocean, said the Devas. No, said Brahma, man is innovative. He will dive to the deepest ocean and dig it up from the seabed. Let's take it to the highest mountain and hide it there, said the Devas. No, said Brahma, man is relentless. He will climb the mountain and find it there. Where then? Asked the Devas. Let us hide it within man himself, said Brahma, for he will never search for it there.
Hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahma matram hi ahamiti sakshad atmarupena bhati.
On a hot July day in 1896 in Madurai, 16-year-old young Venkatraman had a sudden premonition of death. Shaken to the core, he lay down on the floor, stiffened his limbs and closed his lips tightly. Is this death, he thought? Will I be taken to the cremation ground and burnt to ashes? But will it be I that will be burnt or my body? Years later, recounting this, Ramana Maharshi, for it was he who as a young man went through this experience, said that he had felt the full force of the voice of I within himself. He said, the body dies, but I am the deathless spirit. This realization flashed through me vividly like living truth. Fear of death vanished. Other thoughts may come and go like various notes of music, but I continues as the fundamental Shruti note that underlies and blends with all the other notes. In a beautiful verse, recounting his continuous experience, he says, in the heart cave, the Brahman alone shines, in the form of the Atman, proclaiming, it is I, it is I.
that Ramana Maharshi experienced is so clear in the second verse of the Mandukya Upanishad. It refers to the supreme reality as Brahman.
All this is Brahman. The self within, the Atma, is Brahman. The Atma has 4 parts.
सर्वस्व ब्रह्म है, आत्मा भी ब्रह्म ही है। इसकी चेतना की 4 अवस्थाएं हैं।
Just as Ramana Maharshi experienced that the Brahman shines within all of us as the Atman, so did Akka Mahadevi experience her merging with her Lord.
When the knowing dissolves in you, whom do I know? These were the words of Akka Mahadevi, a poet saint from Karnataka. She was a wandering ascetic who was once a queen. Married to a Jain king, she angered her husband by showing no interest in being his wife. She said, "I told you this when you insisted on marrying me. My body and soul belong to my Chenna Mallikarjuna." "Then why," said the furious king, "are you enjoying the luxuries that I have provided for you?" Very calmly, Mahadevi replied, "I don't want anything, O king. Take it all back. I am going in search of my beloved Shiva." Mahadevi then threw off her jewels, unclasped her hair, shed all her clothes, and with just her long hair covering her naked body, she walked out.
This woman is a whore. She needs to be thrown out of the village.
I am no woman, brother, no whore. Every time you have looked at me, what have you taken me for? All men, other than Chenna Mallikarjuna, are faces to be shunned. See, brother. When my body becomes you, whom do I serve? When my mind becomes you, whom do I think about? When my breath becomes you, whom do I praise? When the knowing dissolves in you, whom do I know?
तनु निम्म रूपाद बलिका आरिगे ಮಾಡುವೆ तनु निम्म रूपाद body becomes you, mind becomes you. I don't understand.
First, we must understand how we perceive the world with this body. All of us every day experience what it is to be awake. And in this wakeful state lies the first part of the Atman, conscious only of what is outside. This is Vaishvanara, the cosmic one.
पहली जागृत अवस्था वैश्वानर, सभी इंद्रियां पूरी चेतना बाहर की ओर, मनुष्य संसार को उसकी सारी विविधता में भोगता है। यह भौतिक स्थिति है।
Says Vaishvanara, the cosmic one, whose body is the collective body of all the creatures in the universe. 7 limbs have I, the shining heaven, my head, the sun, my eyes, the air of the cosmos, my breath, the sky, my body, my lower regions, water, fire, my heart, earth, my feet. The Vaishvanara has 19 mouths through which he enjoys the external world, smelling, tasting, seeing, hearing and touching, moving, grasping, speaking, eliminating and reproducing, mind, intellect, ego, memory, the energy flow of prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana.
ये 5 वेरी कौन?
More attachment.
नौधाड़ी,
9 landlord. ये 9 धाड़ी कौन?
2 आँख, 2 कान, 2 नासिका, 1 मुंह, 2 निष्कासन। गिड़नग दिक गिड़नग गद्दिक गिड़नग धा गिड़नग दिक गिड़नग गद्दिक गिड़नग धागे दिक धागे दिक दिक धागे दिक धागे दिक 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 धागे दिक धागे दिक दिक गदि गन धागे दिक दिक गदि धागे न धागे दिक गद गदि गन धा दिक धा दिक धा दिक धा गिड़नग दिक गिड़नग गद्दिक गिड़नग धा गिड़नग दिक गिड़नग गद्दिक गिड़नग धा गिक धा गिक धाई गिक धुम गिक धा गिक धाई गिक धा गिक गति गन धा धिट गत गति गन धा
72 नाड़ी
72 channels of energy.
प्राण, life force.
लेकिन प्राण
एक प्राण
A man stood on the banks of the Manikarnika Ghat. राम नाम सत्य है, राम नाम सत्य है, राम नाम सत्य है. Yet another body was being brought in for cremation. The man watched as the body was dipped into the holy Ganga. He watched as the bier was placed on the ground and set alight. He watched as the fire crackled and consumed flesh and bone until there was nothing left of the person except a handful of ash. The man shook his head in wonder. How much we do for this body, this sareer, only to end up like this. Mutti bhar raakh. अरे भैया, हमरा तो एक ही शरीर है, one body but 5 thieves, एक कोट 5 सिकदारे, and they all want to loot me. Lust, anger, arrogance, greed, attachment, and this unruly mind, this tax collector हमरा मन, राम राम काहे सताते हैं. भैया, this is what I did. I prayed to my vivek, my discrimination, and शुक्र है, he saved me. Thus sang Kabir, a weaver in the 15th century.
सितारा पंचे मांगे हाला जिल नहीं मैं किसी की कोई ऐसा दे दुखाला एक कोट पन सितारा पंचे मांगे हाला संता को मत कोई निंदो संत राम है एको
The fourth shloka, the dream state Taijasa. Mind turned inward, eyes closed, yet seeing. No sound, yet hearing. Imagined pleasure, imagined pain. This is the dream consciousness, Taijasa, the luminous one.
ओम की दूसरी अवस्था तेजस, सपनों की अवस्था. सभी इंद्रियां, पूरी चेतना और समझ अंदर की ओर, यह मानसिक स्थिति है.
स्वप्नस्थानोऽन्त प्रज्ञः स्वप्नस्थानोऽन्त प्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गये ऊनविंशतिमुखः प्रविविक्तभुक् तैजसो द्वितीयः पादः
रनन रन
रनन रन.
The fifth shloka, the state of deep sleep, restful, refreshing sleep. No hungry mind, no lust, no desire, no dream scene, aware neither of body nor mind. In this field of dreamlessness, the sleeping self lies undivided, consisting of bliss, enjoying bliss. This is the third quarter, Pradnya, the knowing one.
ओम की तीसरी अवस्था प्राज्ञ, गहरी नींद की अवस्था। आत्मा ब्रह्म में आनंद में लीन है। यह बौद्धिक स्थिति है।
यत्र सुप्तो न कञ्चन कामं कामयते न कञ्चन स्वप्नं पश्यति तत्सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तस्थान एकीभूतः प्रज्ञानघनम् एवानन्दमयो यानन्दभुक् चेतोमुखः प्राज्ञस्तृतीयः पादः.
14th century Kashmir. Political upheaval, the land is simmering. Its social and cultural fabric is in danger of being torn apart. ऐसे मुश्किल हालात में एक हस्ती ने कश्मीर की भाषा और संस्कृति को संजोए रखा और उसे अपनी एक निजी खूबसूरत पहचान दी. This path-breaking mystic woman poet was none other than Lal Ded. प्यार से कही लल्ला, लल्लेश्वरी, लल दीदी, लल अरिफा. She was much loved by everyone, as she was like one of them. She spoke in colloquial Kashmiri instead of the elitist Sanskrit. And while other saint poets spoke of sin, sacrifice, pain, death, Lalla spoke of the oneness of all existence. While others were lost in the worship of idols and deities, she believed in the inwardness of the spiritual experience. She was fearless, sky-clad. She was beyond gender. When asked, "Aren't you ashamed, so bare in front of men?" she memorably replied, "Oh, is there a man here?" For Lalla, the body was merely a vehicle for the spirit. Her values and ideals became the bedrock of Kashmiriyat, a culture of secularism indigenous to Kashmir. नस नस में गूंजती है लल्ला की आवाज, हवाओं को चीरकर दसों दिशाओं में ढूंढती हुई, 9 द्वार पीछे छोड़कर 36 तत्वों को लांघती हुई मैं शून्यता के उस पार पहुंची तो जहां देखा वहाँ पाया मेरे अनंत सत्य को. Her words, lalwak, were so profound that they are sung in the valley even today.
तूरी सलिल खोत ताई तूरे.
Lalder compares the three states of waking, dreaming and sleeping to water, snow and ice. In the warmth of the sun, there is only water.
इसी तरह ज्ञान की रोशनी में चेतना की तीनों अवस्थाएं एक हो जाती हैं.
तूरी सलिल खोत ताई तूरे. तूरी सलिल खोत ताई तूरे. यम्पी गई बैन एवं विमर्शा. चैतन्य राव वाति सब समय. शिव सी सरासर जग भाषा. तूरी सलिल खोत ताई तूरे. यम्पी गई बैन एवं विमर्शा. चैतन्य राव वाति सब समय. शिव सी सरासर जग भाषा. तूरी सलिल खोत ताई तूरे.
In deep sleep, we experience bliss. But when we wake up, we only have a memory of that bliss. Is it possible to have the same bliss when we are wide awake? Even evolved saints have grappled with such questions.
Your Highness, the platform is burning, the gallows have been destroyed, you must come and see for yourself. Surely that man has some magical powers. You must come and see for yourself. Hearing his courtiers' cries, King Bhadragiri rushed out of the palace where a strange sight greeted him. The gallows had been burnt to ashes, and the prisoner stood nearby with a beautiful smile on his face and a song on his lips. King Bhadragiri knew then that this was no ordinary mortal. He fell at the feet of the prisoner and begged to be forgiven. The prisoner was none other than the great Tamil saint Pattinathar, who had been unjustly sentenced to death by King Bhadragiri. In that moment, King Bhadragiri realized the utter futility of his power and arrogance. He begged Pattinathar to accept him as his disciple. He then gave up his palace, the riches and luxuries of his kingdom, and set forth in his guru's footsteps. Perhaps it was this anguish that led to the birth of the Pulambal, a lament consisting of 200 verses in Tamil. Verses that reflect the struggles of an ordinary flawed person, someone like me, or you, or maybe even you. Ekkalam, when will I reach that blessed state? When will I experience the bliss of sleeping without actually sleeping, after controlling arrogance and burning the five senses? Angaram ulladakki, ainbulanai sutterittu, Tungamal Tungi Sugam, Peruvadu Ekkalam.
Angaram ulladakki, ainbulanai sutterittu, Tungamal Tungi Sugam, Peruvadu Ekkalam. Angaram ulladakki, ainbulanai sutterittu, Tungamal Tungi Sugam, Peruvadu Ekkalam. Angaram ulladakki. Ika Shivayoga Nittinai, Kottaiyirathil Kekka
The 6th shloka further describes Pradna. Lord of all, knower of all, inner controller, the source, the womb, the dissolution, the end.
संपूर्ण सृष्टि का ईश्वर, सर्वज्ञ, अंतर्यामी, समस्त जीवों की उत्पत्ति का स्रोत, एकमात्र संचालक, सबका आदि भी वही, अंत भी वही।
Ramana Maharshi says that there is only one siddhi or supernatural power, and that is to realize the supreme reality. All other siddhis that one may acquire in the course of spiritual practice are like experiences in a dream. When you wake up, are they real? Chittamai ulporulai terndirittal siddhi. Chittamai ulporulai terndirittal siddhi. Virasiddhiyalam soppanamar siddhikare. Chittamai ulporulai terndirittal siddhi.
We now come to the crux of the Mandukya Upanishad, the 7th shloka, which describes a 4th state of consciousness. The 3 stages of consciousness, waking, dreaming, sleeping, are not only experienced by us, but we also remember them. The awareness that is present in these stages of consciousness is Turiya, or simply the 4th.
ना अंदर की चेतना, ना बाहर की,
Perception neither inward nor outward,
ना ही मिलाकर दोनों की,
neither the two together,
न जानने की स्थिति, न ही न जानने की,
not that which is known, not that which is not known,
अदृश्य, अकल्पनीय,
invisible, unimaginable,
अवर्णनीय, निर्लक्षण,
indescribable, indefinable.
इसका सार स्वयं की अनुभूति,
Its essence is its perception of itself.
सभी कर्म क्रियाओं का अंत,
The visible world ceases to be.
अथाह शांति, परम आनंद,
Infinite peace, supreme bliss,
अद्वैत,
no second.
यही आत्मा, यही लक्ष्य,
This, the self, this, the goal.
Prajñam na bahishprajñam no bhayata prajñam na prajñanadhanam na prajñam na prajñam adrishtam avyavaharam agrahyam alakshanam acintyam avyapadeshyam etatma pratyayasaram prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma savidneya.
Every day at the crack of dawn, Guru Nanak went to the local river to bathe. One day, he just didn't return. His friend Mardana went to look for him, but there was no sign of him. Just his clothes on the river bank, neatly folded. Hours passed, and everyone lost hope. But not his sister. She said with conviction, he will return. He has a destiny to fulfill. 3 days later, he did return and spent the entire day in deep, silent meditation. After this experience, his only goal was to spread the message of oneness of all beings. He conveyed it through his Mool Mantar,
Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purakh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Saibham Gur Prasad.
there is only one truth, and that is Omkar. So this realization beyond body, mind, intellect, this is Turiya, the fourth. This is what Guru Nanak experienced. The following lines are from a Shabad by Guru Nanak from the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and they closely resemble the 7th shloka of the Mandukya Upanishad.
Chare Ved Kathe Akar Chare Ved Kathe Akar Teen avastha kahe bakiya Teen avastha kahe bakiya Chare Ved Kathe Akar Chare Ved Kathe Akar Turiya avastha Sadgurte har
আর কি ঘুমায় যুগে যুগে জেগে আছি. Sleep has fallen away. I can sleep no more. For eons I have been awake in the sleeplessness of yoga. Thus sang Ram Prasad in his Kali intoxicated state. His prolific poetry was addressed to Kali, the dark goddess who is the Shakti, the vibration of the absolute consciousness, Brahman. For Ram Prasad, Kali was his very soul, and very often his poetry was a conversation between his soul and his mind. Mone re krishi kaj jano na emon manob jami rohilo poti abad korle phol to shona. O mind, you do not know the art of farming. If only you had nourished it, this human birth would have yielded gold.
এই শারদা, কোথায় লুকিয়ে আছিস? চালিয়ে মারলো মেয়েটা। খালি দেখো ঢাকা ঢাকি।
ঢাকা ঢাকি করছিস? ঢাকা ঢাকি, ঢাকা ঢাকি, ঢাকা ঢাকি, ঘুচুক ফাঁকি, আলোয় কর মায়াখি তারা. Show me yourself, implores Ram Prasad. Do not play hide and seek with me, O mother. Peppered with rustic lore and the day-to-day life of the village, Ram Prasad's verse addressed his mother with intimacy. Wonderingly at times, ke jane re Kali kemon, who knows what you are like, O Kali? Demandingly at other times, khorgo ki tor hater bhushan, hate shudhu rakhbe dhora. Is that a sword in your hand, O mother, or a mere ornament? Complete surrender at other times. Shokoli tomari ichha, ইচ্ছা মই তারা তুমি, তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করি আমি. You do everything, O mother. We only think that we do it. এবার আমি সার ভেবেছি. This time I have found the essence. I have met someone who has come from a place where there is no night. Sleep has fallen away. I can sleep no more. এবার আমি সার ভেবেছি.
এবার আমি সার ভেবেছি, এবার আমি সার ভেবেছি, এক ভাবের কাছে ভাব শিখেছি, এবার আমি সার ভেবেছি। সে দেশে
The Theragatha and the Therigatha are a collection of a multitude of Buddhist voices in their expression of struggle and bliss. We find inspiration.
Natavasupitum hoti rati nathatamai patijari tumere sa rati hoti vijarara.
It's not for sleeping. The night garlanded with zodiac stars. The night, for one who knows, is for staying awake. My preceptor said to me, "Let's go from here, Sivaka." My body stays in the village. My mind has gone to the wilds. Even though lying down, I go. There's no tying down one who knows.
Upajhayo mam avaja. Upajhayo mam avaja.
What existed before creation? There was a vibration in the absolute consciousness. This vibration was Om. Sage Mandukya relates Om to the three stages of consciousness. The waking is the syllable A, the dreaming is the syllable U, and is the state of deep sleep.
Soyam Atma Adhyaksharam Okaro Dhimatram Palamatra Matrascha Pada Akarah Ukarah Makarah Iti.
जेथे जातो तेथे तू माझ्या सांगाती. जेथे जातो तेथे तू माझा सांगाती. आपला जीवलगा विठ्ठलाला तुकारामांनी असे आळवले. भक्ती मार्गाच्या पावला पावलावर आलेले खोल अनुभव तुकारामांनी आपल्या साध्या सोप्या अभंगाने सगळ्या गावकऱ्यांची मनं जिंकली. आणि आता ही जवळजवळ 400 वर्षानंतर आपण तेच अभंग त्याच तळमळीने आणि तन्मयतेने गातो. ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे, ह्या अभंगात तुकारामाने अ, उ आणि जणू ब्रह्मा, विष्णू आणि महेश हे गणेशाच्या रूपात प्रकट होतात. सादर करीत आहोत ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे.
ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे. ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे. देखील देवाचे जन्मस्थान. ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे. अकार तो ब्रह्मा, उकार तो विष्णू, अकार महेश जाणीला. ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे. ऐसे तिन्ही देव जे दोन्ही उत्पन्न, तो हा गजानन माया बाप. ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे. तुका म्हणे ऐसे आहे वेदवाणी, पाहावी पुराणी या साचिया. ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे. ओंकार प्रधान रूप गणेशाचे.
Vaishvanara, the waking, is the syllable A.
ओम की पहली मात्रा अ, जागृत अवस्था वैश्वानर, भौतिक स्थिति.
जागरितस्थानो वैश्वानरोऽकारः प्रथमा मात्रा आप्ये आदिमत्वाद्वा आरोति हवै सर्वान् कामानाईश भवति एवं
Taijasa, the dream consciousness, is the syllable U.
ओम की दूसरी मात्रा उ, तेजस, सपनों की अवस्था, मानसिक स्थिति.
स्वप्नस्थानः तैजस उकारो विद्यामात्रा. उत्कर्षात् उभयत्वाद्वा उत्कर्षति हवै ज्ञानसंदतिं समानश्च भवति न आस्य अब्रह्मविदुरे भवति
This last syllable of Om is Pradnya, the state of dreamless sleep consciousness.
ओम की तीसरी मात्रा प्राज्ञ, गहरी नींद की अवस्था, बौद्धिक स्थिति.
ra
Diving deep within, I conversed with him. No mountains to cross, no need to reach Ketch. The poetry of Shah Abdul Latif, the Sufi saint of Sindh, is suffused with the imagery of his desert homeland, which sings of women who are seekers and lovers, women who navigate the punishing terrain of sands in search of union and oneness. One of them, Sasui, wanders across the desert, crossing innumerable hurdles, looking for her lover, Punhu. The Lord reflects His own image, becomes His own beloved, embraces His own creation. He is that, this, life, death, friend, enemy, breath of breath is He. I myself was Punhu, only as Sasui did I feel grief. Like Sasui, who felt no grief when she realized she was no different from Punhu, the seeker loses all sorrow when she merges with the divine. The last shloka describes this state. The self merges in the self.
आत्मा परमात्मा में लीन हो जाती है। यही समाधि की अवस्था, अमात्र, से परे की निशब्दता, तुरिया, यही निर्गुण ब्रह्म है।
The word Om, with no parts, is the unstruck sound, a vibration so subtle it is soundless. This is Turiya, the fourth, beyond worldly transactions, supreme bliss, no other. Those who know Om as the self become the self. Truly, they become the self.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sunil ji and Shri Shankar Mahadevan ji, please come. Please come. Please come to the stage. Please come. Yes. Sudarshan Rao ji, don't call him. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Outstanding. Outstanding. No words.
Thank you,
No words. No words.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
So may I request you, Sunil ji, give us some feedback. The real feedback you can give us backstage. But
No. It was very, very moving.
the mic.
It's all right.
Mic.
I'm sure they can hear. No. Well, it was very, very moving, very beautifully done. I was told that you're performing this after a long time, and
Yes.
we just didn't feel that at all. It was so well, put together and very, very tight. It brought back wonderful memories of those 2 days that I spent with you. But you've taken it well beyond that. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Shankar ji, thank you so much.
I have no words to express. Just feel so proud listening to something from our country which is so deeply rooted in culture and heritage, and so much depth, so much meaning, so much enlightenment is there. And the way you all have presented it, it is just unbelievable. And every single part of the singing, the choreography, the rhythms, they were complicated rhythms over there. 9 matra, 7 matra, 5 matra, 6 matra, 10 matra, 12 matra, everything they played. And so many people singing in unison, holding on to that rhythm. And the beauty was, all of you were singing ad-lib shlokas. The ad-lib shlokas were also in unison. It's very difficult. See, if you have a rhythm, you can sing together. But singing ad-lib, that shows the amount of practice, the amount of perseverance and hard work that all of you have put into it. Just amazing, really, really. You all have achieved something that is impossible. And we are very, very excited to, announce what we are going to announce now very soon.
Yes.
So, Taraji is very special to us. She's, what can I say, a friend, philosopher and guide of our academy, the Shankar Mahadevan Academy. And as you can see that she is a bhandar of knowledge. Only a person with a bhandar of knowledge can do an act like this. So this is just mind-blowing, and I wish all the very best. Really.
Thank you, Shankar ji. I just want to tell everybody something about what... Huh? Oh, yes, please.
These formalities are not required of me.
Bharati Vidya Bhavan wants to give you flowers, yes. Please do come. I'm forgetting everything.
Thank you so much. We are honored.
Thank you, Sunil ji. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yes, for 2 minutes. I thought, Shankar ji, we could just tell them a little bit about Shankar Mahadevan Academy and, okay. And, the mission of Shankar Mahadevan Academy is to spread the joy of music. And I thought we could just talk to them a little bit about how the Academy is spreading the joy of music, not just through teaching and learning of music, but it's gone much beyond that, right?
Taraji, can we just call our dear Sridhar Ranganathan also on stage? Because
Sridhar,
he's the brain, the man who does it. So
thank you.
So before we go ahead, I'd just like to take a minute and tell you all about the Shankar Mahadevan Academy. We founded it. Sridhar, can I have a loud round of applause for Sridhar Ranganathan? He's the co-founder of our academy, and we have great people like Taraji as part of the academy, and of course more than 85 teachers too. So now we founded the academy about 11 years back, and with 15 students. They were pilot students. Most of them were friends and relatives, children. Please join the academy. We want to try out this. It's an online academy, by the way. So we experimented with 15 children because we wanted to try out the courses and stuff like that. Anyway, to cut a long story short, after 11 years, we are present in 88 countries teaching Indian classical music all over the world. And this is the only academy that is running 24/7. So as we speak now, some teacher from some country is teaching some student somewhere in the world, and it is functional throughout the day. And that is how we kind of took up this mission of, teaching Indian classical music, Hindustani, Carnatic, light music, grow with music for children, many, many things. I mean, we need a special presentation. But today, Taraji, go for it.
Yes, so there are other programs like SMA Muskurahat, which is one of my favorite ones. That is, SMA has identified musicians who in their old age have nobody, have no means of surviving decently, and have provided a pension for such musicians. I thought that is one of the most moving ways of spreading the joy of music. There is SMA Nirvana, if you want to talk about it.
You want to talk about Nirvana, Sridhar?
Yeah, can you hear me? SMA Nirvana. So, I'll come back here. This was October 2020, and since April to October, 6 months, the world was getting into a very bad shape. And I was constantly thinking, what can we do to help, bring some calmness for mental health, for other things. And then it came in my dream where I felt, and it was right under my nose, and I didn't realize it. We have 85 teachers. So I asked every teacher to perform 1 hour, one concert, and we found NGOs, orphanages, palliative care homes, terminally ill centers. And what I found at that time was the biggest disease in this world is loneliness. And since then, we have done 177 concerts, 250 hours of singing and listening, and we have lifelong friends from 28, 29 NGOs across 50 centers, and not only just India, but across the world. So music can be used in a very different way, and this is just one of the ways of doing it. And I would like to acknowledge Krish
Yes.
here, my dear buddy, my childhood friend. He has taken it to heart, and he just thinks about it round the clock and makes it happen.
So there's
Nirvana is really special because, we see so many, terminally ill patients. They're just waiting over there to exit the planet. Then there are people who are absolutely lonely. So very simple. This does not have any hidden agenda or any, some sponsor कि हम ये करेंगे तो ये होगा तो वो होगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. आपको चाहिए, हम perform करेंगे. That is it. 1 hour of performance. They just enjoy it. The whole money part of it, it's not there only. It's only performance for them. They enjoy the performance. That's it. Sometimes I log in. Sometimes some other teacher logs in. Students are performing. Right now, at 2 years back, was that at the NSUI Dome?
Yeah.
The whole dome, we put an LED screen and performed for all the COVID patients, all the teachers, all the doctors. And you won't believe it, by the end of the concert, all of them were dancing over there. The whole dome had become into one celebration. So, little bit of joy that we are trying. Yeah.
Then there's the Joyful Choir, which is a choir constituted by children with autism, and that's a real joy. They just come and they stand and they sing. That's just
These are children who do not miss a single class.
Yeah.
Even when they are sick, they drag their parents and come. And they are in it, And that provides a different level of joy for us. So here what happens is some of these programs, you don't know whether you're giving or taking. The line is completely blurred. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then there's the Inspire India program, which is which was started in Dharavi. So it is providing music for children from lower income groups, for adults, for everybody, for the whole family to sit and sing together.
Pre-COVID, how many students we had only in Dharavi, Sridhar?
A total of 2,000 students over 2.5 years, and I would like to acknowledge Raju Pradhan right here, who gave us such support with providing his school as the base, the DSI school, the Shiv Shansa in Sion, and a lower income group children. And the goal or the purpose of Inspire India project is to make music a household conversation. Okay, you start there. And I have something to relate to this program today about this. Right? You start at a very low threshold. So you start that, and we saw a lot of families joining together. And that reduces the stress for them. And slowly, they are singing through the grandmother, and the grandmother is singing to them. It just becomes a lovely experience. And that's what we saw in IIP, or Inspire India program.
And one more program that is very dear to me, particularly Archive to Alive, because my guru, Lalit J. Rao, had taught us 68 compositions composed by her guru, Khadim Hussain Khan. And one of the first programs to go into Archive to Alive, these recordings were put into a website which Shankar Mahadevan Academy has distributed worldwide, Naman Sajan Piya. So those 68 compositions now become available to the world for anybody to learn, for anybody to listen to. So that was another program, and I think that kind of has inspired what we are starting off today, which is the Heritage Series. Yeah. And we are so thrilled that Sunaad's Mandukya Sant Vani is going in as a learning package for this Heritage Series. So if any of you...
Yeah. One second, I'll just... about 4 or 5 months ago, or more than that, I was listening to a recording of a student learning from Albany, New York. Okay. Now, like I said, like Shankar said, 88 countries. And what we also saw was that students would come for 2.5 courses, approximately 6 to 8 months, and they'll drop out. Now, that got me thinking, is how can we make them understand what they're singing? So, because our way of teaching music is still rata. They don't understand what you're learning. Then I was talking to Thara, and again, this was right under my nose. Sunaad has been existing for 10 years. I have known Thara much more than that, and didn't think of how many people understood Mandukya Upanishad for the first time today. A little bit of it, even then. So that's the power, right? So how do we present? And Thara being a great educator, I really rely on her to do this. And Heritage Series was born out of that. Can you push that next slide? So making people aware, we start with language, country, our leaders, our poets, poetesses, lives and work, festivals, language songs, specific composers, and like Upanishads like this. How do you make it easy for people to understand? And that's really what we are trying to do with the launch of the Heritage Series. And Shankar?
Well, yeah, I mean, for example, if you look at language, many times we realize that our children, and this is primarily for very young children, okay, because I think that is the future of our country, and we have to bank on them, and they are going to take our nation forward. So very young children and also very young adults, to make them aware of many things. Many a times what happens is you've forgotten your mother tongue. Your mother tongue is... It's a sin in my house too, because, my wife is a Maharashtrian, and the only access to Tamil that I have is when I speak to my mother. Okay, so what happened is more, and being in Maharashtra, we all speak Marathi very well, but Tamil is, it's not there that much in my house. So a course like this, where we teach you songs in your mother tongue, whichever mother tongue you have. We have songs, we've got courses, we've got online music books called Om Books, where we have courses where we teach you your mother tongue, songs in your mother tongue, so that you kind of connect with your mother tongue again. That's one of them. Then our country, yeah. From the ages of 6 to 10 or 8 plus, my country, my India is a course. You want to say about it?
Yeah, so we have a lot of students from overseas and they get into Hindustani classical music. They don't even know about India. So these are things that we have learned over a period of time of how to get them excited about their native country. And like leaders like the Mahatma and Gaurav, devotional songs, where they can sing to their own family on Krishna Jayanti or Janmashtami or Ganesh Chaturthi. And the idea is to create a meaningful understanding of music and and impart that.
And also, if it is a Krishna bhajan or a Shiva bhajan, what is the meaning and what is the significance of that? That is also taught to the children so that they get to know in depth a little more than just learning the song and singing it. Yeah. And songs in various languages, songs in Kannada, songs in Tamil, songs in Bengali, songs in Punjabi, and many, many, many more languages. And yeah, and also again now coming to songs on festivals, like which is the song you sang in Makar Sankranti, and why do you sing that? Love to show a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old the significance of Makar Sankranti, the song that you can sing, what is the story behind. Similarly for Ram Navami, Guru Purnima, Holi, Guru Nanak Jayanti, all across religions. And yeah, and songs by great composers like Kabir, Rabindranath Tagore. These are some of the courses that are already ready, and more is happening, and you'll be seeing many more meaningful content, meaningful courses coming up which have got a lot of depth and significance of our heritage. And that is what we wanted to announce to you all, the launch of the Heritage Series today. Thank you.
And I request now Shankar ji to release this pack. Please come forward. Sindhu has worked very hard on this, and Shanti, they both have really worked on this pack. So what you will see is a sample of what this pack is going to look like, a 3-minute sample. Yes, please. Come forward and see it, yeah. Can you see it? Soundtrack? Okay. What happened? Yeah.
Can you play it again, please, from the beginning?
Yeah, play it from the beginning. Sound has disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah, did you mute it from there? This audio?
No, I'm fine. Laldet was a Kashmiri woman saint. Turi salila khot tai ture. Okay, so the three things, that is water, snow and ice. Think about these three things as multiplicity and unity. How? They're all three water. Correct? They're all three water, but they're three different forms. Okay? Think about it. So when Rao is the sun, when the sun comes up, sab samay, all becomes equal. What? The snow, the ice and the water, they all become equal.
Okay.
Similarly, the sun or the glow of Chaitanya, which is consciousness, of your awakened consciousness, Chaitanya Rao, Bhati Sabasame, when that is aroused, you see everything as one. Shivsi, you see it as Shiva.
तूरी सलिल खोत ताई तूरे,
तूरी सलिल खोत ताई तोरे,
ह्यम ती गई बैन ए बैन विमर्शा,
ह्यम ती गई बैन विमर्शा।
सलिल खोत ताई तूरे, यम्ति गई बैन ए बैन विमर्शा, चैतन्य राव भाति सब समय, शिव सी सरासर जग बसा।
Come on, a big round of applause for Sunaad. And let's bring it back to Sunaad today. Parulji, thanks a lot for having us. Taraji, thanks a lot for having us. And Shankar.
Thank you very much once again. Thank you all for being part of this.
Do you
It's
feel
really,
like
really,
singing?
really.
No, okay. Purnamada. Oh, yeah.
You sing with me.
Okay. I don't know how you'll sing it. Tanpura?
वहाँ बंद हो गया तो मैं इधर चालू कर दूँ.
नहीं, Tanpura, which sur? C? Dipti, Tanpura?
What key are you singing in, Taraji?
We were singing on G sharp.
G sharp is singing.
Sab kind. No, she's put C for you.
G sharp, please.
G sharp. आप कहिए.
पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. God bless you all. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you for being such a patient audience.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.